Thou, view, thou, view, thou, view, thou, view,
vow to view, vow, 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 vow to view, vow to view each other's movies, even though we don't always like them, but it's okay because we love each other and movies too.
Hello, and welcome to Vow to View, your weekly podcast about marriage and the stuff we make each other watch. I'm your host, Elyse Daly.
And I'm Scott Daly.
And together, we're
the Dailies.
The Dailies.
Damn it.
You just have to read my facial cues.
I can't. You are the most unpredictable person I know. Yes, Elyse.
Quite the title.
This is the podcast where each week we pick something for each other and have the pleasure of getting to watch those things.
Yeah. Pleasure.
We have another 2 movies for you this week. One that you picked for me and one that I picked for you. And, of course, great stories behind why we picked them, what they say about us, and what we learned about the other person. And I have quite some things I learned about you this week.
I have some things I learned about myself.
This is going to be a rather interesting conversation. We just, right before we hit the record button, got finished watching Elyse's movie, so...
It's because, for some reason, they don't have great movies on streaming anymore.
Yeah, I wonder why this movie didn't get a streaming release.
I didn't remember it quite as much. Those are details that I didn't recall.
Let's just jump right into it then. Let's talk. We'll start with your movie as usual, and we'll talk about it a little bit.
As usual. Okay.
So, Elyse, what movie did you pick for us this week?
I picked a fantastic musical. I love all of the songs. I love the cast. It was turned into a fantastic Broadway hit musical, too. And it was called Thoroughly Modern Millie. You know? Came out in 1967. And it has Julie Andrews in it. You know, she was at the top of her game. The top of it. Yeah, I mean, it's like this, Mary Poppins, The Sound of Music. It's her musical trifecta there. I mean, this had Mary Tyler Moore in it, too. It had Mary Tyler Moore in it. It had Carol Channing, the voice of the mouse in Thumbelina.
Okay, that's
not... every time that I see her, I think of Thumbelina. Or not see her, but hear her, I think of Thumbelina. You can't say Carol Channing, the voice of the mouse in Thumbelina. Yes, that is not the thing she's most well known for. It's what her voice is known for to me. My childhood. I saw Thumbelina and then I saw this movie and I was like, I know her voice. Carol Channing, the voice of the mouse in Thumbelina, and some other stuff. It's not really that important. What? I think that's what I remembered her for when I was little. Oh my god. But anyway, it's this great movie about the 1920s, about this girl who wants to be the modern 1920s woman, and so she tries to take charge and sings her way through it. She meets this guy, and I don't want to spoil it. She falls in love with a guy, I'll say that. Of course she does, it's a musical. It's a musical. And, okay, I will admit, this movie is, completely absurd. And I don't recall it being this absurd. But it was really absurd. We need to have a conversation. It was like... So, you know, there's human trafficking, and then there's a girl calling herself Muzzy out of a cannon, and then she's part of the circus, and then there's, it's just... A man climbing a building, A man climbing a building. Like King Kong. Look, this, we've watched, this is our 4th episode, and... Most of my movies have been really good, and this one I just remembered the music and the tap dancing and my sisters and we were trying to pretend to be part of the movie. Elyse. We loved musicals, we were a musical family. Elyse. But there's some issues with the movie, I will completely admit that. Elyse, this is a bad movie. It's not my best. This is a bad movie. Okay, I have really fond memories of it. And that's understandable. That's the great thing is you watch these movies, you remember how great they were when you were a kid, and then you rewatch them as an adult, and then you realize that, you know what? My parents must have really loved me. And in this case, I think I would watch this movie again. I still love it. I think it's completely absurd. I love the music.
But it's like...
And I have great memories with it. And so I will. But I think if I were to have watched it for the first time ever tonight, I don't think you're going to have liked it. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry your mother never showed this to you when you were little so that you could like it too. Because I think you have to be a kid to start to like it. And then as an adult and you mature, you appreciate it more.
At least this is a bad movie. I did not like this movie. I did not like. It's long. It's 2.5 hours long.
It's the same amount of time as movies nowadays.
Not all of them.
Most of them.
Not all of them.
Most of them. And at least you got to watch it on the comfort of your couch.
I love the movie theater. What are you talking about? More people need to go to the theaters. I'm not going to take that argument.
The theater. What happened?
So let's talk about the different aspects of this movie a little bit.
Why?
And
I think it did a great job.
What do you mean why? Because we have a podcast.
I guess that's why.
So we always say this when we watch old movies, and you need
always say what?
That you need to recognize that the things discussed and portrayed in this movie were a sign of the times, and it is not fair to judge the movie against our current standards. But damn, if this movie isn't pushing it.
I think it would have gotten in big trouble if it came out today.
So, I mean, like, it's not, like, at least, like, Breakfast at Tiffany's had a white person playing Asian characters and doing terrible stereotypes. At least these guys are Asian. They look, I think they actually are two Chinese men.
Two of the three people. Right.
Yeah, well, I can't. That's what I can't.
Mrs. Mears.
She's not, but is she supposed to be? That's what I don't understand.
She just pretends to be.
So the plot, Elyse kind of glassed over the plot of this in her effort to make it seem like this is not a terrible, awful movie.
It's not that bad.
So here's the plot.
I've seen worse.
Here's the plot. There is
#Phantom Thread.
There is
I fell asleep.
It's one of my favorite movies of last year. You shut up.
I fell asleep.
So you can't critique it if you fell asleep. I'm sorry.
At least you didn't fall asleep in this, and I didn't fall asleep in this because it was so crazy and it was engaging.
Phantom Thread was beautiful. Moving on. The plot of this movie.
I'm gonna feed you mushrooms.
Is a girl comes to New York City from California. Supposedly, it's not real. It turns out, and she checks herself into a hotel where Julie Andrews' character, Millie, is living. It's one of those
young
women hotels that have like a house mother and all kinds of rules and all that stuff. And apparently this hotel is being run by a woman who kidnaps the residents of the hotel and sells them into slavery, or as the newspapers in the movie called it, white slavery, which was interesting that they felt the need to differentiate that, implying that maybe white slavery is worse than other kinds of slavery. I don't know. It was just a weird choice. Weird choice, movie. Weird choice.
Well, it's rated G. I don't think they could have really called it what it really was.
Yes, that's true. And so this new girl, played by Mary Tyler Moore, moves to town. She doesn't have anyone, and so she immediately becomes a target. And then we have Millie, who, as you said, is trying to be a modern woman, and she's so modern. Her idea of a modern woman is, of course, to dress like in the jazz flapper dresses.
Raise your skirts and bob your hair.
and then go work, because she's going to be a strong, independent working woman, so she can find and marry her boss. Yes, That's what being a modern woman, according to this movie, is.
I mean, that's going to work what a modern woman and marrying in the 1920s
your boss. Possibly. Maybe. It's still weird. And so that's the plot. So she meets this guy, Jamie, at a dance. And she likes him, but she wants... Jimmy, not Jamie. She wants to date her boss, so they don't work out. And then there's...
But they do.
Then there's hilarious comedy of errors of people think that other people are... She thinks her new friend...
It's a common tale of
Moore.
misconception and confusion.
It's one of those plots where if everyone had just sat down and had a conversation with each other instead of getting mad at each other without ever talking about it, all the conflict would have been solved. But they didn't do that.
But the music was great.
See, that's...
You learned the tapioca.
I did. That was probably my favorite song. Was the tapioca, which is a song that is...
Tapioca. Everybody slap, 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 slap. Yeah, it was really good. We see, it's like, I remember that. I remember the whole, like, thing about Mrs. Mears taking the girls. So what stands out to me from what I remembered was the music in this movie. I loved Julie Andrews. I adored Muzzy. Muzzy was hilarious. Muzzy was fun. Muzzy was kooky. My sisters and I, we would always yell raspberry.
This is Carol Chang's character you're talking about.
Yeah, the field mouse.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, you remember the really good parts, and so it makes the movie that much greater. And then I love the musical, and the musical is fantastic when it was on Broadway. And so it's just like, it's just Thoroughly Modern Millie.
See, I didn't like the music in this movie.
It's better in the Broadway
I'm sure
musical.
it is, but I didn't find any of the songs particularly memorable. Like, I loved the music in The Music Man. This is great music. I still hum some of those songs every once in a while.
That's great.
This? Nah. I forgot about the Tapioca song until you reminded me of it, and we just watched this movie. But, yeah, it's just... I don't know, Elyse. I don't know. Why did you pick this movie? Besides...
I told you all the reasons that I liked it. I love musicals. I loved the characters. I had fond memories of it. There were things that I evidently blocked out and didn't remember. But
hey, what are the names of the Chinese characters in the movie?
Really distasteful in the credits.
Oriental number 1 and Oriental number 2.
Yeah.
And, like, look, it's once again, we have to say that fact that was acceptable, I guess, at the time, and it's not fair to completely judge the movie by it, but it's also hard to watch it through the modern lens and ignore those things. It's very uncomfortable. The movie ends. The end of the movie is Millie realizing, I don't want to be modern anymore. I want to go back to being a traditional woman and not have a job and completely be supported by my husband and go back and do that. And it's like, it's celebration.
But I think if you were to also look at her character in the entire movie, she's not really a modern woman.
No, she's
trying to pretend to be something that she's not.
To get a dude.
And then she realizes that all she has to be is herself.
Once she gets a different
find
dude.
Someone. No, she liked Jimmy the whole time.
Yeah.
And
but
she
Jimmy
was
never saw her as not... Yeah, but she was a modern version of herself the whole time. Except for, there's only one time she was really pretending to be something she wasn't. That's when she tried to do the sultry stuff. And I'll give it to you, that Julie Andrews doing that was hilarious. Because she's just absurd. And that's, like, this movie, like, jumps back and forth between just being, like, a normal kind of, like, date musical type thing to the absurd. Mm-hmm. And it's, like, a whiplash.
I like it.
It's, like...
I still like it.
1 minute, like, you're dealing with this drama of her mistakenly thinking that Jimmy is with her friend now, and the next, he's hanging from a flagpole on the 20th floor of the building, just
he
casually...
He doesn't hang from the flagpole. She does.
They both...
Get it?
They both
right.
do. See, this is what happens when you're not paying attention to the movie that we're watching. They both hung from the flagpole.
He saves her from the flagpole.
He got pushed out the window first, was hanging from the flagpole.
Oh, he was.
And then he climbed back up. And then the same thing happened to her.
Because she got pushed through the window, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
To some.
I don't know. I just, like, I wanted, like, I see this movie and I absolutely know why you picked this movie.
Yeah, and now you're comparing it to The Music Man, which was like a fantastic musical. So I should have showed you this first.
Yes.
So then you would have been like,
expectations set. Yes.
And then you would have been even blown away more by The Music Man. And by all of the other musicals I'm going to show you too.
I don't know. I don't know if I want you to pick any musicals anymore after this. It's pretty disheartening.
You shut your face.
Whoa. Very, very hostile today on Foul to View.
Maybe
because we're like both in a crummy mood after watching that bad movie.
Maybe it's because you're being mean about my movie.
I'm sorry. Like I'm playing it up a little bit. It was not like I did not like it. It was not awful. I've seen plenty of movies worse than this movie. I am
sure I will show you some worse movies, too.
I bet. We watched one over Christmas break.
I know. See? Enjoy the ones that are at least, like, a 5 instead of a -2.
5 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
5 out of 5. Yeah.
No.
I always go to the 1 out of 10 scale.
But
that's how we rated movies.
The thing I was trying to say about this movie is that while I didn't like it, the characters in it, the goofiness in it, the silliness in it is fundamentally you and your sisters. Like, the entire time I was watching this movie, I could imagine you playing while watching this movie with your sisters. Yeah.
We did the elevator tap dance.
They have to do a tap dance to make the elevator work.
Yeah.
They do the human yo-yo stuff.
I still enjoy it. I will still make people watch it for years to come. I still like it. Are there things that are maybe not great?
Yes.
Yeah. But you know what? Such is the world.
Such is the world. That's true. And again, like the biggest complaints I have with the movie are things that were completely acceptable in 1967. Actually, geez. The 60s.
I mean, it came out in 1967. It was probably written before that.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right.
Before.
Sure you're right. So, Julie Andrews is magnificent. She has such energy and charisma. She's very young in this, but it was great. Like her performance, she is consistently entertaining to watch. It doesn't matter what she's in. It doesn't matter how bad the script is, how much I like or dislike the movie. She is wonderful, and you can see why she is one of the greatest because it's great. Mary Tyler Moore was good too, although her performance was like so reserved and demure. She really didn't get to do a lot.
She was way timid.
Yeah.
That was just her character.
Yeah, yeah. So you didn't really get to see Mary Tyler Moore go like full Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah. Mary Tyler Moore's fullness was shown by Carol, the field mouse, Channing.
Which is ridiculous. Which is absolutely ridiculous.
Why?
Huh?
Her character?
Yeah.
Muzzy? I know.
She's still alive. We found that out when we were watching
so she's still alive, and Mary Tyler Moore, it's been almost a year. Yeah. Carol's going to outlive them all.
Yeah. She's 96 years old.
Man.
That's crazy.
Lived through both world wars. I wonder if she rewatched this.
I was like,
what she would say culturally.
I don't know.
No. It was interesting. But
so do you have anything else? Like, there's not much to say. I feel bummed because this movie. This is why I like this podcast though, because like while I didn't like the movie, while I had plenty of things I could tick wrong and criticize about the movie, like I know you and I know this movie is you. Like the energy, the silliness, the goofiness. Like whenever you're around your sisters, I am going to see this movie in the back of my head because you guys get high energy and it's not like ridiculous like bouncing around like in this movie, but like
no, not quite that.
It's verbal bouncing around, and it's like when we had to watch that stupid polar bear movie,
The Polar Bear King. We will talk about that another time.
Oh God, don't make me watch it.
We will watch it again. I will make him. And if you have not seen it, oh my gosh, I so encourage you to.
I was losing my mind.
Oh. And that's one of the things that I like about it too, is, it's a movie that I remember very fondly from my childhood.
Yeah, well, nostalgia is a powerful thing.
I remember the music. I remember the dancing. I probably remember the music more from the Broadway than I do from this, because I listened to the Broadway album more than I listened to this, which is probably why I have more of a fondness for the movie because of the musical.
Who plays
Sutton Foster.
Huh.
Well, that's who was the revived version. I mean, I don't remember when it came out in the original, but Sutton Foster revived it most recently, and she was fantastic. And so Adrian saw it whenever she was there.
I wonder, they probably updated the story a bit, I would guess.
Probably slightly.
Mm-hmm.
But
this also reminded me that I'm glad I don't live in the 20s, because I did not love the jazz flapper dress style.
I loved it.
Not great.
No, I don't think that the 20s is my best stylistic choice for me.
What is, Elyse?
I love the 70s. If I could have gone and lived in the 70s, I think I would have been happy. 70s are totally me. Let's go to the 1970s.
I don't know if I think you dress like the 70s.
I maybe don't dress like it, but I would like the dress there, and I like the decorations for the home decor.
You do like 70s decor.
I do.
You like wood paneling.
I do.
You like carpet, like a long carpet. Ugh.
Mid-century modern.
What did I marry? Ugh.
I love it.
Wood paneling. I hate wood paneling so much.
There's nothing like a good wood and metal combination. I don't know.
All right. Well, I don't know if we have anything else to say about Thoroughly Modern Millie anymore.
Yeah.
We could. This is hard to find. Like, we had to buy the DVD of this because it isn't streaming
DVD.
everywhere. Yeah.
Who buys DVDs?
We sat down to watch it yesterday, and we're like, it's not streaming anywhere.
We actually found it at Barnes & Noble the week before, and we were like, we'll just stream it. We just won't buy it. And then yesterday, we tried to find it, and then it didn't work.
So now we own this movie.
Hooray. We'll watch it every year. Every January 29th.
No,
we'll watch it.
No. I do not
Happy
do
January
that.
29th.
All right, so I think that's it. Do you have anything else to say about Thoroughly Modern Millie?
Watch it. Give it a chance. And then after you watch it, listen to the original Broadway soundtrack.
Why don't you just listen to that?
You could do that too. I think you might like the songs on that version a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But you haven't listened to the songs.
Yeah, but they were boring and bland, so I'm guessing if it went to Broadway, it would have had... Don't give me that look.
Fine. The music is better, I will admit it.
There you go. So that's Thoroughly Modern Millie. Now let's move on to my movie, and we'll do that right after this. And we are back. It's time
back again
to move away.
Guess who's back?
From the movie
Tell
musical
a friend.
To a movie.
Guess who's back?
About music.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? I'm singing a song because it's about music.
It's not a song in the movie, though.
Well, if it had come out, then maybe it would have been.
Okay. My movie, the movie that I picked, is High Fidelity.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about it, please.
I forgot when this movie came out. It's the year 2000. It's a year 2000 release. It's by Stephen Frears. It's based on the Nick Hornby novel of the same name.
Have you read the novel?
I have. I've read every single one of Hornby's books.
Did you like the book better or the movie better?
The movie is more sentimental to me for reasons
yes, which you will discuss later.
Get into, but I think the book's probably better done. Starring John Cusack.
I like John Cusack. You know why I like him so much?
Why do you like him so much?
He's Dimitri.
Dimitri?
From Anastasia.
Oh my god.
And
I wish
how you sometimes have like crushes on cartoon characters. Aladdin and Dimitri. Those were the cutest little cartoon characters. Can we not relate
every person in the movies back to what cartoon they've been in?
No. We can.
Also, Jack Black is in it, one of Jack Black's earliest
Jack Black is fantastic in this movie.
Yeah, so this movie is about a guy who gets dumped by his girlfriend and then goes through his top 5 list of most painful breakups, reliving. It's about life after relationships and what happens to you and what you go through and how you move on from that and maybe become a better person at the end of it all. Mm-hmm. The reason I picked this movie is because this, Elyse, was my breakup movie.
Oh, I know.
This was the movie I watched after I got dumped. Mm-hmm. Many times after I got dumped, because there were many times I got dumped, and also after each time I would watch this movie a lot, over and over again. And the reason I like this movie so much is because this movie, out of any movie I've ever seen, just managed to grip the feeling and the emotion you have when you're going through something like that. Not only like the present emotion, but like the stages of it. How like the things you go through, the things you think in your head, the awful thoughts you have about the other person with someone else, and then the things that you blame for yourself, and this idea that you're only remembering the good things and you're forgetting all the bad things and all these mental things that go through your head. So I picked this movie because I wanted to watch this movie with you, because I don't have to watch this movie as my breakup movie anymore.
Yay!
And I think that's really cool. But this movie was definitely there for me over the years whenever that happened to me. And I can see, like, I watched the movie throughout me getting over someone, and I can see how how I'm dealing with the breakup, by watching how I react to different parts of the movie. Because at the very when a breakup's fresh, I completely empathize with what the main character's going through, and I cheer him on when he, spoilers, ends up getting back with his girlfriend at the end. At the end of the movie, he does get back with his girlfriend, and they restart their life together, and there's hints that things are going to be okay going forward. And I'm like, yes. And you're like hopeful, because you're like, oh, this happens here, that could happen to me. And then you move. Well, we can get into that.
Way to end a breakup movie. They get back together, and the people are watching it. If they want it to be like how to help yourself go through a breakup, and they get back at the end, it's not healthy. Sorry, continue.
Can I finish my point?
Yes, you may finish your point.
And then, so as you're going through the breakup, first of all, you stop identifying with Rob, and you start realizing how selfish and terrible and shitty Rob is as a person, because he is. He's very, the whole movie, like, he doesn't say a selfish thing until the very end of the movie, when he finally does something for someone else, not to get anything out of it, but just because he wants to, because he cares for that person. And so you realize as you're going through your breakup, you start saying, I'm identifying with this guy less. This guy's kind of a selfish jerk. Maybe it's not good that they get back together. Maybe it's not good that the reason they get back together is literally just because her father died and she's too exhausted and doesn't want to be alone in this hard time in her life. And that's not a great reason to get back together with someone, but it's also a very human reason. I mean, like, sometimes relationships are weird and messy and both good and bad. I liked, like, when he said he's thinking about his relationship with Laura, and he said it was never spectacular, it was never bad, it was just good, but like really good. And when you're going through a breakup, these are the things that are flashing through your mind. And I don't want you to get all like emotional because I'm talking about exes or whatever. But this movie was important to me through a large portion of my life. And it was, I think we had watched it together once before. I think we caught it on TV and watched part of it, but this is the first time we really sat down together to watch it. And it was an interesting experience for me coming at this movie from a place where I've never been before, where I am fully confident that I won't have to watch this movie to
help you over a breakup.
Yeah, make myself feel better anymore, to help with my misery, as it were. And it was cool getting to experience that with you. So I want to hear what you thought of High Fidelity.
Well, I'd seen the movie before, and I liked it. I think I liked it a lot because of the music, and
it has a great soundtrack.
It's a fantastic soundtrack. I like the whole record store vibe that goes with it, and John Cusack and Jack Black, and I don't know the third guy. I like all three of them. I think they're hilarious. I thought that the movie was funny. I really enjoyed Tim Robbins in this. I just thought he was hilarious.
As Ray, Ian, the new boyfriend.
So like I always had liked the movie before. I remember I watched this movie first whenever I was doing a summer job, and I didn't do anything except sit at the desk, and I read like 8 or 10 books in 4 days while I was working. And then I finally realized I could get a Hulu account for free, and this movie was on, and I thought, I'll just watch High Fidelity, and it was good. So I'd always liked the movie. I think when you sit down and enjoy it for what it's worth, I would never pick this movie as my breakup movie, because I don't feel like it is a very healthy breakup. And so whenever I had gone through that myself, it was not good for me in order to be around that person and try and even talk to that person. Like, I thought Laura was completely selfish in her own sense of trying to meet him back again. And I'm just like, it frustrates me over and over, because if I'm watching through this as like, I want to sit down and enjoy this movie, I enjoy it. But if I'm watching it through the lens of I'm trying to get over a breakup of some sort, then I think this is really not healthy for me to have been able to watch, because I would have consistently been watching it and been like, oh my gosh, this is good. This could happen. I am talking to the person. All I need to do is talk to the person, and then all of this. And it was just like, for me, it would not have been a healthy one. If it helped with you,
it's not
that's
like
fine.
That's the point, though. Like, I don't think a breakup movie is a movie you watch because it's the healthy thing to do when you've been through that. I think it's a thing you watch to make yourself feel better. And this movie, when I was freshly dumped, made me feel better because it offered hope. There's this idea that like maybe they will get back together. Like when you are dumped, you want the person, you want a Laura that calls you all the time, even though she shouldn't, that keeps coming over for some reason, that always has more stuff she has to keep coming over to get, that's constantly talking, that you want the person that broke your heart to reach out to you like that, even if it's unhealthy. You know in your head, this isn't good. This isn't good for me, but that's what you want. And I think that's what captured me so much about this movie is like, everything that he wanted and desired and thought and was going through are things that I wanted and desired and thought and was going through. And for me, it was an important stage in my getting over the person that I could come back and watch this movie and not want those things as much the second time around or the third time around or the fourth time around. That I could go watch this movie 2 months after the breakup and say, hey, this isn't healthy. Like, when you are to the point in the breakup that you can realize that a behavior that you're doing is unhealthy, then I think you're making progress. And that was like, so yeah, I mean, like, that's why I think this movie is so great, because it works on multiple levels. It works on wish fulfillment in the short term, and in the long term, an example of some very terrible practices. And when there have been times when I've broken up with someone, I've used the things I learned from watching this movie as to how the correct ways to behave in a breakup.
That's
so
good.
You do not call the person all the time. You do not come over to pick up stuff multiple times. You give them what you know they need and you know that they don't want, which is cutting off contact. That's what you do. And I don't know. That's what it was for me.
Well, I'm glad that it helped you learn some stuff. I'm glad you're not going to have to use those things again.
No, yeah. But that was a different...
I think that was, like, for me, I did not want any contact, anything at all. And so that's why when I'm watching this and I'm seeing it, I'm thinking, had I first watched this when I had gone through a really bad breakup, it would have been absolutely horrible. Because I would have had the hope little thing glimmer the entire time.
Right.
But, I mean, I think that that's also, everyone processes things differently. And that's how I process them. And I would not want to see it work out for someone else when they'd had the same situation happen.
Right.
And so, yeah. I liked the movie. I don't see it quite as with the same lens as you do as to why I like the movie.
Just like Thoroughly Modern Millie. These are intensely personal experiences tied up to a whole bunch of emotions that we don't have anymore or have moved beyond.
Well, I still enjoy Thoroughly Modern Millie.
I still enjoy High Fidelity. I think High Fidelity
is a great
film.
But
I will never experience it the way I did when I discovered it the first time and then used it as a crutch the times after that. And it's just a good movie too. Like,
it really is.
Like beyond all that, it's funny, it's heartfelt, the music rocks. Jack Black is hilarious. It's constantly surprising. It's Nick Hornby is such a clever writer, like the way he writes, and some of the best lines from the books were transported right to the film. So like it's very sharp and clever at times. The way Rob talks is of course a way that no human being would ever talk, but it also, like, they are these music nerds that love to list and talk about music and do this, and it's also like a really accurate dive into like an obsession of things, because I was also sitting there thinking about, oh my gosh, he's going to try and reorganize his movie shelf just like he's reorganizing all of his records. No. He's going to want to reorganize his movies over and over again. Oh my gosh, if you did your movies autobiographical. I would never do that. Oh. But like people... But the dog groaned at it too. They are obsessed with music and they like to list. And I, in my film communities, like, I know people... Like, we are people like that for movies the way these people are for records. And that's another kernel that I related to there. And that's why I kind of had liked when you had originally said you were going to do it last week. Because we like books, and we like music, and we like movies. And it was like all of the things that we enjoyed together. Yeah. But it's okay. He moved it to this one. And, you know, Thoroughly Modern Millie is a musical, and High Fidelity has music. So, well, I guess most movies have music. Yeah, all movies have music. But this music is a point of this movie. Like the idea of character itself. The idea of making a mixtape, and that's the symbol of his growth. That he makes a mixtape for his girlfriend at the end of the movie, and he makes things that she would like, not music that he would make her to show her all the music that he likes, but specifically what she should like. Exactly. It's not what she should like; it's what she will like, and it's like. It's kind of the opposite with this, because I'm making you watch movies I know that I would like. Yeah. But no, we're learning about each other. And we had the conversation. You knew about this movie and my history with this movie before we had this podcast. But I thought it was... I bought you the record. Yeah, it's true. I thought it was fun to revisit it, though. Yeah. But yeah, that's High Fidelity. Anything else? have you ever read a Nick Hornby book?
I have not read a Nick Hornby book, and if what you're saying with, like, most of the poignant lines in the movie come word for word from the book, it would make me interested in order to read the book.
And he's very British.
And so maybe I will. Oh, and I love British.
Yeah.
I love the British.
And he's written so many good books. I mean, About a Boy, which
I love
was
that
also
movie.
made into a movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's
Hugh Grant?
That's Nick Hornby, yeah.
Oh,
A Long Way Down.
close your eyes when you sing. Don't close your eyes. You sing.
So yeah, he's written a lot of good books. Apparently, one of the books he wrote, Juliet Naked, which is also a book about music. He writes about music is pretty heavily important in his life, and I think it's pretty important in his novels as well. Mm-hmm. But they made a movie that they just premiered at Sundance for that one, and apparently it wasn't that great. I didn't think the book was that good either. I think High Fidelity is probably my favorite of his books. A Long Way Down is a book about suicide that is really funny. Surprisingly, it's basically like there's this one building in town that everyone goes to commit suicide on, and 5 people go one night and all happen to meet each other there, and they basically decide that, like, hey, let's not.
Oh no, I've seen this. I saw that movie.
They did make a movie about it.
Yes.
Not too long ago.
Oh no, yeah, it was on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I never saw the movie, but
oh, what was her name was in it?
I heard it was
the
Keira Knightley.
No, I'm talking about the blonde chick.
I'm gonna have to look it up. You vamp while I IMDb it.
No, she was. Oh.
You're not vamping. This is bad vamping.
I know, because I'm picturing her in my head right now, and so it's really frustrating me. And I know that whenever I look it up, I think her name starts with an S.
This is great vamping now.
I think it does. Great. Anyways, so I saw it, and then, oh my gosh, and then there's this other guy.
Oh, Imogen Poots is in it.
Imogen, yeah, not an S. I don't know why I thought S. Off. Imogen Poots.
Pierce Brosnan, Aaron Paul, and Toni Collette.
Aaron Paul! That's the other guy I was thinking. See, I watched it because he was in it, and I had just finished Breaking Bad. And I was like, oh my gosh, anything that has either him or Bryan Cranston in it. And so I saw it, and then I was kind of confused. And I don't think I finished it.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't very
it was
good.
Not
it's a hard topic to do well, and I thought the book did a pretty good job at it.
Yeah.
But
anyways, so
I
like the movie. I'm glad that I was able to watch it with you for you and to, like, get yourself through that. I think I will enjoy it more the next time that I watch it, when I wasn't watching it through
my eyes,
through your eyes, because I was just thinking about how horrible this would be to watch at a breakup. I was just thinking, this is a mistake after mistake after mistake. But if you're the way that you explained it, where it's like you feel that way at first when you watch it, and then you go and you watch it again, and then you realize you don't feel that same way. I get that. I understand that better now, and that's fine. But yes, I was really like,
why would he do this to himself?
I know. I was just like, why are you picking this one? They get together in the end. And the whole point is you're getting over the person, and she's being a really awful person by completely, keeping him around. And that's the horrible thing is, when you're the person that is broken up with, the last thing that you need is for them to continue to call or to text or to do anything. And she's doing that. And then you would be watching it and you were like, oh yeah, she's doing that. And then they get back together. I was just like, my mind was just bubbles.
Oh, but man, when he finds out that she's seeing someone else, the feeling he has, I can still feel that feeling. That is not a good feeling. The first time you learn that your ex is seeing someone else and the things that go through your head, it's not healthy. So it pretty well captured that. Like Nick Hornby got pretty badly dumped a few times in his life, I'm
sure
guessing.
He did.
Because he managed to capture it. And yeah, I mean, I get that. I don't know. It's just, there are so many terrible things you can do when you're freshly broken up with. Some, like, terrible, like, unhealthy, immature, stupid things you can go out to do. If the worst thing that I did was sit down and watch a movie that maybe the first few weeks of my breakup convinced me that we would maybe get back together.
It's okay.
I'll call it a win.
I think that's fine. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure everyone thinks if they're the one that was dumped, at least in the first week or so, oh, maybe there's a chance.
Yeah, maybe she'll change her mind. Maybe if I just say the right words, it'll change everything. Make her the right
mixtape. Yeah. It'll be okay.
God, dumped people are stupid. They're really like the irrational lengths we go to try to figure out how to solve these problems. Like, it's dumb. I'm so glad, Elyse, that we don't have to do that anymore.
Exactly.
I'm so glad.
Exactly.
I was
just
so
about
happy.
to say, that was a podcast about marriage. We're just talking about breaking up,
But it's like, we're talking about breaking up from the perspective of people that
don't have to do it anymore.
We won the game. That's
they do that in Thoroughly Modern Millie. If you haven't seen it, you wouldn't know.
But I'm getting off topic.
Go ahead.
No, I don't understand why she said boop boopy doop in that movie. Like, why are they doing the Betty Boop thing in Thoroughly Modern Millie?
Betty Boop was so modern. So modern.
Are you sure?
She had her hair bobbed. She had her little tiny outfit that she wore. She's so modern. She's like the epitome of a modern woman.
Betty Boop?
Betty Boop.
The cartoon?
Boop boop doop.
Betty Boop was the epitome of a modern woman?
She wasn't.
When did Betty Boop even come out?
A long time ago. Betty Boop was in Roger Rabbit.
First appearance,
black and white.
First appearance, 1930. Thoroughly Modern Millie takes place in the 20s. Explain it to me.
It was immersion.
Immersion ruined. Movie terrible.
I think you already decided you didn't like the movie, so why does this change anything?
Terrible. Betty Boop didn't exist. What are you doing?
Maybe Boop Boopy Doop from Betty Boop was because Millie did it. And it's really not Betty Boop's signature. It's really Millie's signature this whole time. And we didn't even know that Betty Boop was really based off of Millie.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say absolutely not.
I'm going to say I figured out how it could have been related.
Yeah,
and
so
now
the
you're
movie
just shutting
that
me
came
down.
out in 1967.
This is what happens. He just shuts me down.
Looks like I'm going to have to get out High Fidelity again.
No. Never again. Just for fun.
Yeah, I think that's anything else. High Fidelity, Thoroughly Modern Millie, how the movies relate. Maybe we'll do it. Like, how are these movies the same section?
So the main characters both talk to the camera a lot.
They do.
Yeah.
They both break the fourth wall.
They do.
That was a good catch, Elyse.
I know.
Didn't think of that.
You didn't think of that?
They both break the fourth wall.
What else I caught and you didn't catch was in that High Fidelity movie when she was reading the Love Thy Neighbor book.
That is great.
I can't believe you hadn't seen that. It was really funny.
They are laying in bed, and I've watched this movie so many times, and I never saw. They are laying in bed, listening to their upstairs neighbor have sex, who eventually ends up being the woman that she leaves Rob, or the man that she leaves Rob for, and is their neighbor, obviously, and she's reading a book called Love Thy Neighbor. I
don't know how you didn't see
I can't believe I didn't miss it.
I always pay attention to the book.
Good job, High Fidelity prop team.
I thought you were going to say good job me.
Good job, Elyse, and High Fidelity prop team.
Yeah, give me credit where credit's due. So I found something they have in common. Do you have anything they have in common?
No, because one's like really good, and the other is
your movie.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cold-blooded. Cold-blooded.
No. I'm warm-blooded.
I can't think. I think I can't top. They both break the fourth wall, because how often do movies do that? And we just happen to both pick ones that did it.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Thanks.
Yeah. So I think that's all we have for these movies this week.
Yeah. I've decided what I'm going to watch next week. I have.
We forgot to plan that ahead of time.
Oh, so no, I planned it. I knew.
You did. You just kept it a secret. Well, this is that I'm hearing it along with the rest of you guys live, even though this isn't live because you're listening to it afterwards. But just pretend, okay, Elyse, go.
Okay, so this is another movie that I have really fond memories of watching when I was a kid. No. So I'm hoping that this holds up whenever I watch it the second go around. Or not, I mean, I've seen it more than 2 times, but my first go around is
the adult go around.
Yes. And it's this little movie called Curly Sue. I'm so excited.
Are you sure we can watch that one? It's available somewhere?
I know we used to have it on VHS. So
well, let me just pull out my VCR.
I don't know if we can watch it anywhere, but that's what I picked.
Okay.
It's not a musical.
Okay.
Main character's a little girl named Curly Sue.
So this was a movie you liked as a kid?
Oh, I loved it as a kid. I used to want to take baths in my bathing suit in an inner tube with an umbrella. Okay.
So Curly Sue. What year did this movie come out? Do you even know anything
I don't know. I'll look it up really quick because you're going to be trying to think about what in the world is it that you are going to have for your movie.
No, I've already
Mine came out in 1991.
Okay.
Jim Belushi's in it.
Not the good Belushi, but, you know.
A Belushi.
A Belushi.
Yeah.
That's not fair to Jim Belushi. Jim Belushi's fine.
I liked him. Oh, it's a John Hughes movie. I didn't even realize that. So
I am also going to pick a movie that came out in the 90s that I loved as a kid. Mm-hmm. Elyse, I'm going. This is
the first time I'm hearing it too.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
I knew you were going to do that.
Turtles.
I absolutely knew. As soon as you said the 90s, a movie that came out, I was like, Ninja Mutant Turtles.
No, not Ninja Mutant
Teenage
Turtles.
Ninja Mutant.
TMNT.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You can tell I watched a lot of it when I was little.
The original film, the 1990 film, where the turtles say damn. They say damn. And
you know, I liked the Power Rangers more than I liked the Ninja Turtles.
Power Rangers were much later in the 90s.
I guess that's because you're much older than me.
I like the Power Rangers too, but I was on the tail end of it. I was 4th grade when Power Rangers really got big, so I was in trouble. Really getting too old for it. Not long after that.
I watched too much Power Rangers. I started trying to fight people, and I got in trouble because I kept on hurting them.
I think the Power Rangers movie would be a good one to do, because I actually remember seeing that movie. It's not good, but maybe I'll leave that on the list, but no.
I should do the first movie I ever saw in a movie theater,
That's a good idea. We could both do that. I'm going to have to track down what that was.
I totally remember mine because I got a shot. I'll tell you. Okay. I won't ruin the story. Yeah,
don't ruin the story. Okay. Okay, so next week you're doing Curly Sue.
Curly Sue.
And I'm doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I am so excited. I still love TMNT.
Okay, so I think that because it was a John Hughes, we have a little bit of a greater chance of finding this via streaming.
Probably.
Watch now on Amazon Video or on disc.
And as for TMNT, we don't need to stream it because I got it right there on the movie shelf.
Yay.
Right there.
Are we going to eat pizza while we're watching it?
No, we're on Whole30. We can't eat pizza. Guys, the Super Bowl is next weekend, and my team is in the Super Bowl next weekend, and I can't eat junk food while cheering or being sad about my team because we're on this stupid 30-day diet thing. And
we have 3 boxes of Girl Scout cookies right now.
Yeah, we can't eat anything that's delicious.
Yes, we can. I made you really delicious food. That was mean.
Elyse, you know what I meant. We can't eat junk food. Yeah, junk food is delicious. And how much
better do you feel right now?
I feel great. That's not the point.
Yeah, you feel a lot better. Your body feels a lot better.
Look, the Eagles are probably going to lose next weekend, and I'm going to need some comfort food.
You can eat fruit.
Comfort fruit?
Fruit.
Comfort fruit.
Yeah.
That doesn't have the same ring to it. All right. So those are movies for next week. Do we have a discussion question, Elyse? We didn't come up with one in advance because we did a really poor job planning for this podcast. I have one too. You want to rock, paper, scissors? All right, let's
go. Paper, rock, scissors. Not rock, paper, scissors. It's paper, rock, scissors.
It is not.
It's alphabetical.
It is not paper, rock. Okay, everyone listening, please.
Is this our question
Please
now?
back me up on this. Is it rock, paper, scissors, or paper, rock, scissors?
We have no more movie question. Our question now is it paper, rock, scissors?
Or rock, paper, scissors?
And if you think about the alphabet, I will let you know which one you should pick.
And if you think about how everyone else does it, you will call it rock, paper, scissors.
Or you could call it Farkle.
What?
Some people call it Farkle.
Okay, guys. I guess I think that's the note we have to leave it on, because Elyse just is making up words now.
No, that's a game. There's actually a dice game, and then sometimes people call paper, rock, scissors farkling.
You mean rock, paper, scissors? I can't wait till everyone proves me right, just like about Pianist.
I hope that everyone just wants to irritate you so bad that whether they think that you're right or not.
See, now you're trying to manipulate them. You're trying to manipulate the audience, and I don't appreciate it.
That's what women do, right?
That's... What the hell?
What?
Now you're going back to Thoroughly Modern Millie gender politics.
No. I completely admit that I'm an expert manipulator.
Don't.
And that's not just because I'm a woman. That's just because I'm an expert manipulator.
Because you're Elyse Daly. That's why.
I am.
Oh, right. That's all we have.
That probably shouldn't be released. Maybe if I ever am.
What? That you're an expert manipulator? No, it's staying in now. All right, guys. That's all we have time for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. If you have any comments or questions or want to email us and let us know that rock, paper, scissors is the correct term, you can do that at dailyplanetfilms@gmail.com or at dailyplanetfilms on Twitter. We are still in the process of moving this thing over to its own podcasting feed. I think I'm going to do that like tomorrow.
Or you know what? If you don't want Scott to ever have to watch High Fidelity again, you can vote for paper, rock, scissors. So,
oh, shit's getting real.
I'm just kidding. He won't have to.
Yeah. So yeah. Check
I
out.
love you.
Contact us there. You
so
can
much.
see all. I love you too. You can see all the other podcasts and stuff we do at dailyplanetfilms.com. We have a full week's worth of shows each and every week. Fun stuff around movies, books, TV. Sometimes anything we want to talk about. If you like this show and the other shows that we do and want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/dailyplanetfilms. That's DALY once again. You can donate $1 a month or whatever else you can afford. It gives you access to our Discord channel. It gives you a bunch of other cool things. We're doing a new thing for our $20 donors.
I was about to mention that because I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, do you want to explain it for us, Elyse?
Well, I'll say it, and then if you need to add anything.
Okay.
But when you pay $20, then the weekly Daily Planet podcast, if there's not anything that you currently have scheduled, you get to turn in a topic, and then you and Matt are going to talk about whatever it is that you guys submit. So if you want to hear Scott and Matt talk for an hour about really how the game is called Paper, Rock, Scissors... You could submit that, and then they would have to, and I think that would be really funny. Or farkling.
Or, as some people
I think
in the Discord are already talking about, this is a way to get me to watch more anime, because I am historically not a fan of it, and people have been wanting to get me to watch some more of it, so that's a great way to do it, guys.
See, I would just pick like something completely ridiculous and out there.
Well, we've had that already.
Make you talk about it for an hour, just like a word. They just gave you a word.
Don't give them ideas. And specifically,
Why not?
Said, no, it's not just going to be
Why
random
can't I give
stuff.
them ideas?
It's not going to be random abstract
These people
stuff.
are my people.
It's going to be...
You people are my people.
It's going to be television, movies, books, that kind of stuff.
And anything else we just feel like talking about. No, you've said and anything else we just feel like talking
podcasts.
about.
Like form of entertainment and storytelling. The whole thing at Daily Planet is talking about storytelling and the things we love in stories. So to do something that's not a story or doesn't have any... That's great. I would love to talk about the Jabberwocky. We're getting off topic.
Porgs.
We're supposed to be closing the show, Elyse, so let's go ahead and do it. Thank you guys so much. Elyse, I love you.
I love you too.
What's our slogan again? What is it?
Boop boopy doop.
Goodbye, guys.